Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. You are here with both of your high priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, how are you going?
Good. All over the place, but good. It's like pre-holiday, so it's just like everything's got a bit, everything's become a spreadsheet about what you can fit into a day and train timetables
Oh
and
gosh, yeah, you've
things
been
like that.
really busy, far out.
Yeah.
But
How about you? And you're now out of hospital, thankfully.
oh yeah.
I
So
mean, I know it wasn't. Sorry, we shouldn't scare people.
no,
It wasn't like a long stay in hospital or anything, but
no,
it did.
it wasn't. It was just a few trips to get some antibiotics. Yeah, good. Thanks. Yeah, so picked up a bout of cellulitis on the leg, and yeah, it was pretty painful and hard to walk. So I spent a few days making my way over to hospital. Just some antibiotics, but all good. And then they also found a blood clot as well. So why not? you know, while you're there, um,
I see. I was focused on the blood clot and not the cellulitis. I kind of forgot that was the order things had happened in.
uh,
So it's just
yeah,
like, oh yeah, just a little blood clot. But the good news is that they found it, right? I mean,
yeah.
I have a friend or someone in my family that happened to that they were in for something else and they found it, and it's just like it's amazing that
Mm.
like because then it's obviously they're the sorts of things that can become much bigger issues.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
As the doctor said, I mean, like it was.
Not that I'm scaring myself about it before long overseas flights. So
Oh yeah, no, not at all. No. It just
no blood clots.
no,
No blood.
no blood clots. No, but yeah, no, all treatable with pills. Lucky it's below the knee, so as the doctor said, it's not up north, which is good. Um, so, so yeah, all good on that front. So yeah, so Looney's has been, as you can tell, a little bit busy between Rebecca and
We're really
myself.
sorry. You have no idea. We had every week planned,
We
and then
did,
every week I'd be like, my sister's coming to stay to meet the
yeah,
cats, before the cat sits,
yep.
and then Ray was like, "Oh, I've been in hospital."
Yeah,
So
yeah. It just
we
we just
life comes at you fast.
exactly. We can't really catch a break there, but that's it. I mean, we're still going, so that's good. I'm very excited
Yeah.
as well, Rebecca. We thought again just to play a little bit of catch up. We are going to go into a moonshine this episode. We're going to look at the two latest and greatest Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu issues 4 and 5 because, geez, they came out before you knew it. Like I thought,
They were really fast together, right? Because like when you
yeah.
said that, I was like, my issue of 4 took forever to arrive. So I think I only got it like a week and a half ago, and I was like, when you said 4 and 5, I was like how quick were they?
I know,
Like
I
because
know, I know. I was just
it was
assuming that
incredible.
we were going to do 4 and maybe something else, like for our recording. But then, during the week, it's like, well, issue 5 came out. It's like, oh, okay, fine, fine, we'll do
Yeah,
that. Uh,
it's perfect.
well, I mean, we aren't complaining, Looney, so we do get 2 issues to look at. Um, I guess before we get into that, Rebecca, I mean, apart from being super busy, is there anything that you've been watching or reading
We
or looking forward to?
have, yeah. What have we been doing?
Yeah,
I'm very looking forward to. I've been really enjoying the Iron Man run, the new Spencer
nice.
Ackerman Iron Man run.
Yep.
I haven't started One World Under Doom.
Oh
I
yeah.
will probably take that on the trip with me,
Yes.
along with Ryan North. Fantastic Four, catch up all of the Ryan North stuff. Very excited. He's about to be doing a crypto run.
Oh.
But I will probably only buy it as a mini series.
Yep.
What else have I? Chip Zdarsky on Cap. Interesting. I don't know how
Oh.
I feel about that.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I think he'll be really good on Cap. I think he just doesn't like Tony very much, so that's kind of interesting. But I will probably give it a look. And Ultimates has just been incredible. It's
Wow.
probably the only one I've really been reading, that and Moon Knight. And watching. We just caught up with Silo and
Oh.
Severance. So we've been big
Oh,
Apple
Severance.
TVing it all the way.
Oh, nice.
How about you?
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, Ryan North. My God, how good? How good is he? So that crypto should be good. Yeah, I've been catching up on because I'm massively behind, as you know, Rebecca. So catching up on Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm only like a couple of issues behind now. I did a whole massive read. I think I had like 10 issues or something to get through. So I'm only where I'm up to, and I think I'm just a couple of months behind now. Is Doctor Doom has made a presence and wants to have an involvement with Spider-Man. Catching up, I don't know.
That sounds so dodgy.
I don't know. It was actually a while.
I know what you mean, Ray, but that sounds very dodgy.
Yeah, it was actually a little while ago since I read it. So yeah, I can't remember. All I remember the reveal of Doctor Doom at the end. But the lead up to it with Tombstone and Tombstone trying to kill his own daughter was really frightening stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really really tense. So I kind of really enjoyed that. Also a bit of catch up with the Incredible Hulk, Philip.
How
Johnson's.
is that?
It's good, yeah, it's good. It's different. It's like really, he's leaned into the horror that Al Ewing has done, but he's leaned into like American myths and monster myths, which is quite interesting. It's a very different take on Hulk because it's kind of it's really dark, and he spends a lot of his time, I guess, in that. In the realm where he and Banner talk. It's interesting. I like it a little bit more than than Cates' last run, Donny Cates'. So I'm kind of happy with that. But yeah, still got plenty to read. As for watching, what have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I've been watching that.
Oh, how is that?
It's very good.
I haven't had. That's normally what I would be doing this weekend, but I think instead I'm doing a trial pack to see how heavy the case is.
Well, I mean that's important, of course.
It is important because the problem is like Monday comes around and I'm working, so it's like everything kind of has to be condensed in this time around work.
Okay.
It's a little bit more complicated than it should be.
Yeah, but I mean, the series is good. I haven't finished it. I think I've watched the first 5 episodes. Just before Daredevil apparently turns up.
I've seen him showing up, so that's cool.
I can't wait to hear Charlie Cox as the Daredevil there. But no, it's really good. It's really, really good. I think it's quite fresh. I really like the animation. It's old school kind of comic book art. And I think it's just really well written and a lot of fun. So, been watching that. Rewatching also a little bit of Sherlock. Rebecca, I don't know why.
Which Sherlock?
Benedict Cumberbatch and
Oh, interesting.
Just it's been a while. And
I'm a bit hit and miss on it. I like some episodes and I really don't like others. So
I just watched when he first met Moriarty, and I can't remember Andrew Scott? I can't remember his name.
I love Andrew
good.
Scott.
Very cool.
He's so good.
Yeah. So that was very fun.
I really love him.
Very tense.
That's cool.
As for, I guess, Moon Knight stuff, Rebecca, I mean, apart from the issues, I don't know if you've glanced or come across any news. I haven't.
I don't think so. No. Was he on one of the? No. Is he one of the special variants? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
I don't remember.
But listeners, if you do want to catch up on stuff, a big shout out to Mario and other loonies in our Facebook group, posting up stuff, solicits and previews and such. So go check it out there. There is some more news. I'll try to add a little bit more, I guess, science to the news on the show. I'll try to be a bit more diligent on that regard. But
I mean, it's just like, I think it's like, follow the group if you want, like, any news that comes out, because, we or someone else will post any news. I think it's just been, I think it's mostly been previews, some of which I didn't want to see and some of which I did. So I haven't looked at them all because I was like, I want to be a little bit careful about which of them I look at.
Yes.
Because sometimes they're a bit much, but no, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh no, there should be. Yeah, it's because I'm just looking at some stuff now. Someone really likes posting stuff on Oscar Isaac. So thank you for that.
I
The
mean,
group.
why not?
But yeah, go check it out if you can. It is a private group, but it doesn't take much. Just tick the yes, I'll behave and I'll be
check
nice.
the I'm not going to harass people,
Yeah,
and you'll be all right.
Exactly, you'll be in. But yeah, so Rebecca, we've got 2 really cool issues to go through. Shall we start our Moonshine?
Yes, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. I don't have the transition here. Just to be completely honest, Looney's working on a new platform. So the bells and whistles are there, but Ray doesn't know where some bells and whistles are. So just bear with me. But here we go, Rebecca. What we have here is the first one. We've got Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue 4 here. Fantastic cover. I think we may have spoke about it last time, just when we previewed it.
Bagels.
Bagels.
Or donuts.
Donuts, police cars, 2 kind of police.
Let's say donuts then.
Yeah.
They should be police car-y.
Twinkies. Oh, they like Twinkies.
No one should be eating Twinkies. They're vile.
Are they still around?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, they never go. They will outlive. They'll outlive cockroaches.
I was about to say, cockroaches and Twinkies, nuclear holocaust. Yes, the police officers, Rebecca, in this looking afraid. Moon Knight attacking the car, and again Paratore. I think David Paratore does this.
It's really nice. I like it.
Really cool as well. So yeah, this issue is called Rats, and we'll get into that. It's pretty cool. This is the first, I guess, official time we've got the new artist, Devmalya Pramanik. Yeah, so I'll definitely want to get your thoughts on their work, Rebecca. Jed MacKay, of course, at the helm with the pen. Rachelle Rosenberg with the absolute gorgeous colours, and letter of VC's Cory Petit. As I mentioned, David Paratore, a cover artist. We have a couple of variant covers here, Rebecca. Philip Tan and Rain Barredo. And
I don't remember those.
No, I don't remember the Philip Tan one. And there's a.
But then we've not been very on the ball, so I think I know who to blame. Is me. They'll all be on the Facebook page from when they were in the solicits. So.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, Emilio Lazo and Mattia Iacono, and that's a Fantastic Four homage cover. And we have.
I think I did see that one.
Did you see that one? Is that good? That one? Oh, it probably.
I liked it. I mean, I like all the homage ones. So I've got to remember they say it differently in America than we do.
Oh, yes.
We say homage.
Oh, you
We're
say
like
homage.
very not.
Oh.
Yeah, America tends to often follow the French pronunciations.
Oh, okay.
But we just say homage. We're like we anglicize everything. I like it when they do those because they're kind of sweet.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah.
Yes, and capped off with of course Devin Lewis as editor. So for those that are looking at the video, so Rebecca and I, we do have the comic up, and we're not going to go through panel by panel, but what we usually do is just bounce around. We talk about, I guess, overall impressions first, maybe some key moments, and then we'll jump to those pages, things that stood out, maybe things that we liked and didn't like, and we'll go from there. We'll give it a rating at the end. So Rebecca, it doesn't have to be long. A nutshell, a lift pitch. If I may ask, how would you kind of summarize?
This is kind of like the fallout from the last episode, but this one, so the last issue, when we left with kind of, Tigra being mad at Mark about Hank, and all this, they're being framed as this cult that's selling drugs, dodgy cops who are druggies, etc., etc. And this is really like Mark falling out. So this one's very focused on the Moon Knight system, or the Mark Spectre system. I don't know, have we decided what we're calling them? Because we have quite a lot of interaction from the alters, which is nice.
Yes.
And it's Mark kind of going off unhinged a bit and like dealing with the loss of the Midnight Mission and struggling with coming to terms with whether he should have got a new group. Like, if he's
Yeah.
kind of destined to be alone forever, or for everyone's safety. So there's a lot of the stuff that superheroes often struggle with.
Mm.
It's very specific to Mark because, you know, this probably is the first time he's opened himself up to new people
Yeah.
outside of the sort of Marlene Frenchy gang.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
um,
That's a good.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
what happens when Mark goes a bit off the rails.
yeah, yeah, and overall, I guess impressions, Rebecca. What did you make of issue 4?
I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I am still settling into the art, I should say.
Okay. Yep.
There were some bits that worked for me better than others. The
Yep.
paneling loved.
Mm.
Loved some of the
Oh
I
yeah.
love
Towards the end. Yeah. Yeah. We'll get to that. We
just
should.
all through this some really interesting just unusual paneling, which as everyone knows by now I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing him interact with Jake and Stephen.
Yes.
Liked seeing did we see the others in this one? We saw
Steven.
Hunter's Moon in this one, right? Or not?
I can't remember if that's that
Or
one
was
or
that
the
all in
next issue.
No, that is
Yeah.
all in 5.
Yep.
Yeah, I quite like Sturman standing off against Frasier.
Yes.
And I like that bookended it in how many, because we so often had one where it was bookended with Mark in the armchair.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to change that up with other characters and have Sturman and Frasier both sort of sitting in these armchairs.
Mm. Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think it's I think it really, as you say, took a turn, Mark going off the rails, because what it reminded me was what Jed had built for Mark during the first volume of his run and the second in the lead up to this, how his network were were so intimate, and they proved to be so special, obviously valued for Mark. And this was like him kind of really not at the bottom like the Houston run, but he really does kind of shrink into himself, and he's kind of fallen in off the wagon, on the wagon, or whatever, into that kind of mode again, where it's like, I don't need anyone, I don't want to hurt anyone. I mean, we've seen it in the Houston run as well, where he distanced himself from Frenchie.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he's definitely been through this before, but it's the
Mm.
first time in a while he's been through this.
Yeah.
Because he kind of seemed to quite happily open himself up, and then, well, not happily, slowly and through time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the fallout of that when he's a bit derailed.
Yeah.
And, obviously losing the Midnight Mission is a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's the one that sort of calmed it down and got it to come and be an ally. So, and it's the first big loss that hasn't been resurrectable, right? Because
absolutely.
They got back the others. So
yeah, no, it's almost as if they're all in their kind of grieving process for the Midnight Mission. And I'm just going to jump over again. Apologies to those listening to the audio, but I'm just going to jump over to what you were mentioning, Rebecca. I think one of the main beats to this issue was Mark stamping his foot down and saying, I can just do it myself. I don't need anyone else hurt. And what I really liked about this one, Rebecca, and the whole issue is called Rats, is that we reintroduce Vermin, and the way the way it's portrayed of Mark struggling and defying, this belief that he has to do things himself, and defying, having friends, is that he gets kind of overwhelmed with the rats in Vermin.
Yeah.
And I think the art here is really great. Very...
Yeah, I really liked it there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to compare, because Pramanik obviously has a great style himself, but reminiscent, again, I think of Cappuccio was starting to, with the flowing cape, and has to do with Rachelle Rosenberg's colours as well, and him glowing.
I mean, we've got some more of our beautiful pinks as well.
Oh, and again, the play with, as you can see here with this panel with Jake, Stephen, and Moon Knight, just to play with their backgrounds as well. Jake always...
and I love that they have their theme colors.
Yes, yeah. So I'll bounce back to earlier where they are talking here a couple of pages. Actually, you're talking about panels, Rebecca. Here's a really great one with Moon Knight's face on the top.
Yeah.
Just looking down, and that kind of, I guess, crowns the page with Stephen. And
it's really cool.
It's very cool. And then, of course, I think I showed it earlier. Before that, Jake in the, I don't know, just the seedy reds and
I
pinks.
love that one.
Yeah.
That one is so beautiful. Just and the way it goes, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh,
Yeah.
swoosh.
It really,
It's just like,
yeah,
it's
really
sorry, I
interesting.
shouldn't go swoosh, 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 swoosh.
It makes
It's
it,
a very definitive style of art that you will have to follow me with.
yes, and we see more of that later in the fight, which I think I'll see jump across here. So I really enjoy the art here. I think Moon Knight looks really cool. I think what you're talking, maybe you're alluding to, Rebecca, with inconsistencies. I did find some of the faces and in some people.
Yeah, I didn't like the Sturman and Fraser as much as some of the others. They seemed a bit blocky and a bit masculine.
Absolutely, spot on. I think that was exactly. Yeah. I thought actually at the beginning, I wasn't too sure who that was on the couch at the front.
I thought Fraser was Fairchild until until they first started talking. But I was like, initially, I was like, I realized that Fairchild does not have hair that long. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've opened a comic, so like, it's a bit.
No, I was with you. Like, I mean, my brain was trying to compute like that has to be Fairchild, but the hair's long, so
yeah.
I
didn't even think about that. I was like, oh, the hair's long. But no, I mean, like, you know, it's just a different style. That's what I mean. It's like it doesn't bother me. It's just to kind of get used to it, kind of thing. And like with issue 5, I thought either I was already more used to it, or there wasn't anything that stood out to me in the same way.
Yeah. I think also with the art, and again, I'm going to make a comparison. What I did notice, similarity wise, is that the backdrops, like even in these ones, similar to Cappuccio, they're almost like semi-realistic. You know how Cappuccio's some of his backgrounds, and so you see the bookshelves here and the shades and the lamp behind it. It's a really nice effect. I think I can't say I've noticed it in many other comics. Except for
I think it's quite unusual actually to both be detailed and also sort of thematically interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you there, but I mean, apart from those first couple of pages, once Moon Knight comes into here, it looks really cool. I mean, I think he just looks. I think the costume is it's testament to how good he kind of looks now. And so they're on the run as
I love that. I love him attacking the TV.
Yeah. So again, it's talking about the Midnight Mission and somehow cops were hurt in the fray with Moon Knight and the congregation, and that just angers Mark, and that's when he starts having that conversation with Jake. But yeah, the fights. I mean, bouncing forward, Rebecca, I think this was just really, for me, and again, if you look at the paneling here, it's almost 3D, right? It comes in waves.
It's really interesting. It's because it's not so much on that one that I can tell why they've done it that way, but I like it because it does kind of bulges out to you.
And this was, I think, really intense for me. I thought it was really good, just because Moon Knight is defiant, despite, as you can see, Stephen saying, "Damn it, listen to me, Mark. There's too many of them," and he's just constantly saying, "No, you know, there's one less now."
Yeah.
It was really
I like that when he's mashing that one.
yeah. It has a little "ay," and it's gone. But this is again, so visuals again. Apologies to audio listeners. This panel here with I think Jake and Moon Knight half, but they make the whole, I think is really cool. So you have Jake in the same stance. He's throwing away his glass of whiskey or whatever, and Moon Knight,
which is amazing.
Yeah, and Moon Knight's throwing the I guess the gasoline can, I presume, and then he pulls out these, I don't know, flammable.
I don't know what they are.
Spheres or something. Yeah,
little bomb things.
I like it though. I like it.
I like it as well.
How he's got that arsenal.
You can have more of that.
Yeah. I mean, it reminded me a little bit of Max Bemis. How he created that wraparound sword for Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
just like
he should have all the weapons.
Yeah. So he gets rid of a lot of the vermin, and this. Oh gosh, talking again visually,
that one's insane.
It is absolutely.
And the nice thing about it is that because all the actual Moon Knight panels are so little compared to the ones for the altars, is that you really get you really focus on what they're saying to him
Mm.
as he's doing the physical stuff.
Yes.
I thought that was very clever because, like, often you're trying to see everything at once. This is like you just know that you have this sense this fight's going on,
Yes.
and you can go and look at it panel by panel. But like the main thing that draws your attention is to what they're talking about through the fight. And I love that he then says, "Just stop talking to me while I'm fighting," because it's like
Yeah,
it must be really annoying, right?
Yeah. He says that. I think that's later on. We'll go into issue 5, but with Fairchild as
Oh,
well.
right.
And Fairchild's going. Moon Knight's going, I wasn't
Oh,
talking.
yeah. No, maybe it is
Yeah.
when that. Yeah.
But yeah, this is so great. I mean, as you're saying, Rebecca, exactly that. At first glance, it looks chaotic, but if you focus on the Jake, Stephen, and Mark, you can kind of see their faces, and then it's almost as if they're like film strips, Rebecca. Like
Yeah, very much so.
That go across.
Yeah, they're like sort of distorted film strips.
Yeah,
and it's like great.
Yeah, and I should mention, sorry, there is Moon Knight at the top there, so there are 4. I mean, he returned,
and he's right down,
yeah.
and he's down at the bottom. Yeah, but it's just not as much.
Yeah, but just the black and white, the gnashing teeth in the background. It's almost also like, not film strips, but like claw marks from the from vermin, like scratching across. So
I'm sure that's what it's meant to be, because you've got the teeth in the bottom corner.
I just love it.
But I also thought I like that it has that kind of dual sense of being films as well.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, yeah, this sort of stuff, I guess, is an example of like what makes you love looking at comics, right?
Comics, yeah.
It's just fantastic. And then it continues here again with Rochelle's beautiful blood red colors.
Yeah, we love an arm like stretching up from the.
Oh yeah, and it kind of surrenders, like it slowly surrenders, you think, but then he clenches and makes a fist. It kind of reminded me of, there was that previous issue a while ago, Rebecca, when he's in the Midnight Mission, I think, and he's in the pile of dead bodies. You know how he was kind of like climbing. Yeah, kind of similar to that. Reminded me of that. But again, Pramanik does amazing work, and I don't know if this is direction from Jed MacKay or this is just purely let the artists do their thing. Full credit to Pramanik if they did, pitch for this, because
look how good that is.
Then it starts looking like the panels, again, for those just listening to the audio, it almost looks like it's sagging, right? Like ripped, torn flesh. And everything is kind of in between those pockets of...
you really get a sense of that's his mask falling apart or their flesh falling apart. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of both.
It's really good. And I think someone said in the Facebook group, I can't remember who, or in Discord, it's always cool to see Mark with the mask kind of half off. You see his face in there. Yeah. And so he's really in the thick of it there. But he yells like a bestial yell. So he's digging his heels in to do what he needs to do. And then you get, the lead up to this, he goes, now I know, all I need is the wild dog. And that was a reference as well to one of Jed MacKay's earlier, I think, runs, I think so. About being the wild dog. And he pretty much... beats all of the vermin. He's still there, covered in blood, torn to shreds, but he's done the job. So he succeeds. I don't know how good it is that he wants to succeed and be alone, because
yeah, I mean that's the bit that worries us, right? So but we'll see.
So that, and then so it ends. So he's done all that, and then it ends with a nice little epilogue here with Fraser. He's found his way in there, and it's really interesting, Rebecca. I just noticed the shadow behind him, like it looks like almost like and if you look a couple of pages ago in the smoke, there's the same sort of like, it's almost like it's like a cat or something. I don't know.
It's like what is that?
And then see shadow.
Everyone well, is it like a giant rat thing? I don't know. I think it might be.
Is it, or unless there's some?
But it's in the back as well, so like you're right.
Yeah, bust. Like, isn't that a panther? I don't know.
It doesn't look. I don't know. It's a little bit like cross between a cat and a dog and a rat. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's the wild dog motif.
Oh, the wild dog. I think that's probably it.
Maybe, but
I think that's probably it. Actually,
maybe
it's
just I don't know.
It's his spirit animal, the the wild dog. So
I mean, we shouldn't be saying spirit animal. That's appropriation. But
oh
yes,
yeah. Yes. But yeah, I just noticed there. It's just interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and so anyway, he does threaten Frasier, and he said that he had eyes on her from the start, which was pretty cool. Yeah, Flint. I mean, you see Jake sitting behind her in a panel from the very first issue of Fist of Khonshu when she's talking to Flint. And yes, Moon Knight wants the attention of Fairchild. He gets it, and they're kind of setting it up, obviously, for the next issue 5. Again, nice little play on the panels here, Rebecca. The top and bottom, you got Moon Knight and Fairchild, who is hankering for a fight.
Hankering. Yeah, Moon Knight. He wants to. He really wants to do a. Why is he so keen? I guess he wants it over and done with.
He just wants to. I think he just wants to nip it in the bud. Yeah, stuff going around the middle person. He just wants to get to Fairchild, and because I guess he's still a little peeved that the Midnight Mission is gone. But we will go on to the next. Let me just prepare the next one. We'll go on to the next issue. And again, we should mention. I mean, we've spoiled issue 4, but we are going to spoil issue 5, which is a little bit more current. So just bear that in mind. We will. There are spoilers there, Rebecca. I mean, there's a pretty nice reveal. So
there's an insane reveal. I'm so excited about it, right? Like, we haven't had one of those for a little while of like insane reveals.
So I'm going to put this up on here. This is issue 5 now. We're going to go check it out. Rebecca, this a little bit misleading, the cover, but pretty awesome again from Paratore.
Yeah, it's kind of mad, that cover. Yeah. I don't know if I like it, actually. It sets me on edge a little bit.
It's like he's been bitten and he's one of the vermin. But
I don't know what it is. There's just something weird about everything about it. I'm not sure I love it.
It's definitely dark, yeah, and you got all the little rats looking at us. But yeah, so this is okay. Before we get, let me just jump to the credits. So this one's called Scars. So this continues on, obviously.
Yeah, this one's cool. This is so, like, sometimes when I judge issues down because like we haven't got this kind of second part to them, I think this was a really good 2 to do together.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I did enjoy the first one, but I think this one really pulls all the themes together.
Yeah,
like, finding out what Khonshu's also in that mix, and what all the other part of the mission are doing, and and having it around that fight marks charge, like challenge Fairchild to, and then the big reveal at the end, or not reveal, the tease at the end, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there's just something very, very cool about it.
Yeah, I think they work well together. Definitely, Rebecca. I think because the issue 4 was the lead up to like the main event, so to speak, which is pretty much in issue 5, and I think that really works well. But you're right, we get to see a lot more. So let me just pull back a bit to. So again, Pramanik's art, I think, is I'm quickly getting used to it. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
There are just hints of familiar kind of styles, but there's enough there that kind of makes it his own, really. Overall, I love this issue because the amazing reveal to it. Yeah,
I think that this had the feel of like almost a number 1 kind of reveal. So I hope we don't lose any of the character once we get to One World Under Doom, which I know we don't have a tie-in for, but just I'm always a little bit worried when there's a big event going on like that. So
it's actually, that's starting to intrigue me now, Rebecca. I heard it around everywhere, but I haven't really investigated that. So okay.
The best thing about it is Iron Man is going into the Insurgent Iron Man.
Oh.
Which is an amazing, like,
oh wow.
Amazing name for it, yeah.
I've got it. It's sorry, and who's doing One World?
Spencer Ackerman. Oh, One World, Ryan North.
Oh, right north. Oh gosh, I got to get it then.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I have it on order. I just haven't
okay.
read it yet. I haven't read anything.
Might have to pick it up. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to try to get back on the horse there. But anyway, overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this. Rebecca, overall impressions for you for this issue?
Yeah, I loved it. I love seeing our gang together. I loved having Soldier with Barda,
Yeah.
and distinguishing between when he's Hunter's Moon and when he's Barda. I love seeing him being a doctor.
Yes,
We
me too.
talked about that before. It's like, why haven't we seen him being a doctor for a while? I love seeing that. I loved in the same way having Reese and Tigra together, because we've seen them bond, and now it's Reese not really being able to help because you can't really get in the way of this relationship argument, because what Mark did was a bit shady, but he it would have distracted Tigra as well. So I like we get to the point where she's like, yeah, fine, we have to talk, because it's like you do. We got to see everyone. Like, what's not to love about an issue where you get to see everyone, and you've got this big standoff fight, and I mean, in the end, you have a very, very interesting reveal.
Yeah. I think,
which I'm not even. I mean, I assume that Mario's already decided who it is, because I only read it this morning, and I'm like,
wow. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this works really well. I've spoken about before, I think, with Jed MacKay and some of the techniques he uses in storytelling, in the fact that sometimes he does it like he, I guess, offsets the action with the dialogue and the talking, and sometimes for me those action components take a back seat because they're kind of obvious that they're there to break up the scenes. Whereas I feel here, where he does start to flesh out into what the rest of the congregation are doing, and then you have the big fight. I think it takes nothing away from the fight. The fight is so much; it's got so much impact. It's very cool to watch, and you still get time to catch up with Reese and Tigra and Barda and Soldier. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and yeah, you're right. I mean, what I found really cool about is seeing Hunter's Moon and his other guys as Dr. Barda, but the ramifications of Blood Hunt, and
I mean, I like the fact that they have, like, that it matters to the people on the street. You're not just getting, like, people are sort of saying, hey, we're to live through this. You hang out with vampires, you're a bad person.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the stuff that they have to, they're trying to kind of, I guess it's what's frustrating Soldier, is that they've got to they've taken a few steps back now because of what.
I mean, he was always a bit more hot-headed though, right? So
yeah, true.
Which I love as well. Like.
Yeah. And he mentions here, we can't just give ground. We fought for what we have. Can't give it up. But I like how Barda doesn't care that he's a vampire, obviously, because he's a fist. And he just kind of tries to settle him down and say, yeah. So they just have to keep on doing their work and hope that they can win the community over again. And that's kind of, as I mentioned, then we jump into the main match here. Now, I was kind of obviously rooting for Moon Knight, and I was just...
Really, right?
But I mean, I was just so happy, like, in the first instance where he's absolutely laying it.
Hammering it,
and it's like, I can't see Fairchild getting back from this, right? I mean, like, he's getting a real good pummeling, and we know how good a fighter Moon Knight is. Rebecca, you've got the mask and the bare chest there. Just missing the pajamas and the boxer shorts.
Yeah. I mean, like, I always like seeing him, like, a little bit, like, weird like that. So.
It reminded me a little bit of Kari Andrews, the art.
A little bit, yeah.
Just the fluidity of the muscles and the body. Really cool. But yeah, I mean, another, I think, funny bit from this issue, Rebecca, was the group that Reese and Tigra were fighting, like this monster squad.
I loved that, and they even joked about it. We just need one of the sea monster types.
Yeah, exactly. What you saying? She'll just need 8 ball, sea
Yeah,
monster
come
thing.
on, 8 ball.
Yeah, but this is so cool because I mean, you see Tiger ripping off an arm. Don't worry, it's not that gory because apparently he can dismember.
I liked her. I was like, just when she's like, just so back off.
Yeah, exactly. And Reese is cool because she does her mist thing. I love it how the monster tries to hit her and she's just like intangible pretty much. And 8 Ball doing his thing, pretty cool. And she whacks the guy with his arm, which is pretty funny. But yeah, they have the talk, and as you say, Reese mentions that you've got to. I love that panel there where she says,
"Yeah, it's really good.
Just like get yourself together. Come on, Tyra, just get over it. Do it." So, so that's really cool. And as I mentioned, we get enough of the fight, and as you say, you get a bit of Jake as well. So continuing on from issue 4, the internal, I guess, dialogue. Jake's watching it from a TV screen in the bar.
Yeah, which is great. I love that.
It's very cool. And he's almost coaching like Moon Knight. And Moon Knight even has to, as we mentioned before, has to speak up and even confuses Fairchild at some stage. Stephen Grant is watching it from a computer screen, of course, in his office. So, pretty funny. I love the art here, Rebecca. You notice that the paneling is not as it's not
as weird.
No.
Yeah, but it is. It's still there's still some unusual ones. Yeah.
I mean, I like how. I mean, this is. I mean, compared to the previous issue, quite standard. But I love how Pramanik uses the horizontal paneling and he squeezes the height of it to kind of bring you in, and he kind of zooms in to Moon Knight, so it kind of really intensifies as he's. You think putting a chokehold on Fairchild. And then, my heart sank.
You see that kind of, I was doing it with one hand behind my back, kind of.
Yeah. Heart sank a bit when he was smiling. It's going, you're liable to strain yourself. And he just gets up and flexes his massive back muscles and off he goes. But here we get a bit more paneling. Rebecca with
see, I told you there's definitely some in there.
I didn't notice it that much first from here, but this is pretty cool, like looking down into the sewers because they've got to go back into their underground base, but they come across Fraser's there amidst all the carnage from a last issue with Moon Knight and all the vermin. And so this is kind of coming head to head where Moon Knight wants to not put them in harm's way, and Fraser's pretty much the messenger here, saying, this is what's happening. And then okay, so we're leading up to the spoilers, right? The big spoiler. So Moon Knight starts to get his ass kicked. Not at first though. I really like how he gets kicked, and he still does the back somersault and gets ready. Because he's a bit of a kick-ass fighter. He does start having blood, but what I really found really cool from what Jed MacKay was saying is that, and it opened up with, I'll bounce back to the first bit, it opened up with the issue with Moon Knight showing his kind of badges of honor, right? His injuries, which show...
going through them all, which was kind of cool.
I really liked it. So... Jed MacKay refers to the Sun King, Max Bemis's run, how they kind of like burnt something or carved something into his back. Then he's got Black Spectre's puncture wounds, and he's got Stained Glass Scarlet. So you've got classic villains here, but the tell towards the end is that Fairchild, he's been rough and ready, apparently his whole life, but he has no scars. So you're kind of going, oh God, what's happening here?
Yeah, what's happening here?
Exactly.
What kind of super soldier serum we're dealing with here?
Yeah.
It's worse than that.
And I like it, actually, Rebecca. You probably can't pick it up here on the visuals, but you see the font of his word balloons. They slowly become.
Yeah. They slowly morph.
They slowly morph into something that you're familiar with if you read comics. Something like Thor, or or Lady Sif would. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's revealed that he is a farm boy, but a farm boy from Asgard.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was so unfair for him to leave that out because poor Moon Knight.
But what's he doing on Earth during drugs? I mean, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Get a life, Asgardians.
Yeah, that is really weird. The only thing I can kind of think of and compare it to, I vaguely remember Rebecca in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a oh, actually no, and also in the She-Hulk TV show, there are rogue Asgardians, like Asgardians that come to Earth and they do stuff,
Yeah, they do stuff.
Well, the one in She-Hulk,
they do though.
Yeah, the one in She-Hulk, she was pretty much just a troublemaker.
Yeah.
But this guy is running drugs, and I'm just so filthy at him because he kept that little thing from Moon Knight. Moon Knight is fighting his heart out, but he's fighting up against an Asgardian. Like, come on.
He's fighting up against a god.
Yeah. So
or a godly type.
A godly. Do you think we'll get Thor showing up in the issue? I mean, Jed MacKay has been doing Avengers.
I don't know, right? I mean, like, I don't know who we're getting. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if this is someone we know, or
you think it's okay? I thought maybe it was just like a rogue Asgardian or something.
I mean, it could be, but it could also, I don't know. Like,
just looking at, he's got a massive 6-pack.
It's got like an 8-pack.
8-pack. Right? But yeah, this is interesting. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to show some sort of sympathy towards Moon Knight now and just let him be a beaten wreck. He's got him dead by rights at this stage. And he's...
Poor Mark. Yeah, he has another scar.
Well, at least he can say, look, he went, I don't know how many rounds with an Asgardian in the ring. I mean, geez, that's quite heavy. But there you go. That is where we're at currently. Rebecca and I, we are now up to date. But before we close that off, we'll go through some comments from some previous issues as well as issue 4. But Rebecca, I don't know. I guess both. Do you want to mark them together? Like, what would you rate?
Well, I'll give the first one 7.5. I did like it.
Yep.
And I'll give the second one 8.5.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I'm
purely on story. I mean, like well, actually, the first maybe. I really like the art in the first. I mean, I really love the paneling on the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8 and 8.5 for me. I think.
Maybe it might go there. Might.
I mean,
knock it up because of the.
Yeah, because of the. I mean, I mean, we've seen him before. Apparently, he did the. He was in Devil's Reign. I think he did some work. Pramanik, but as his, I guess, maiden issue as a regular artist for issue 4, he did very well. I think I was quite impressed with it. I think so as well. And then he just solidified that in issue 5, and so I think a lot of the, I mean, Jed's obviously very solid. The story is ticking along really well. It's very interesting, but I think the art really does raise it even further. So 8 and 8.5, I think, from both of us.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So before we loonies, before we wrap up, oh, hang on, what happened here? Continue, go back. What I'm going to do is we have some feedback. I'm just going to go back. And we actually, before we miss out, Rebecca, we've got some feedback from the What If, how Galactus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Galactus transformed Moon Knight. So I'll read that as well. But I wonder...
Where would I find it? Because I don't know. I haven't got it.
Oh, yeah, our Facebook, our group. It should be... Yeah, so I've got one comment here from... Mario. Oh no, sorry. My mistake. I have a comment here from Lena. for issue 4, and then there's a post after that, Rebecca, with the discussion thread for What If Galactus transformed.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'll start reading Lena's entry here whilst you look that up. So Lena said, for issue 4, I really like this one a lot. Jed continues to knock it out of the park. I love the fact that Dr. Sturman was not intimidated in the slightest by Frasier. Unfortunately, in many comics, therapists are often written as either having sinister motives or falling in love with their client, or other cringe-worthy tropes, which has the effect of painting the therapists in general as untrustworthy. This tends to increase a huge problem that our society has, that many people who need therapy are afraid to seek it out. Although there are other aspects to that problem, such as being afraid to admit to needing help, fearing the stigma of being called crazy, difficulty affording therapy, etc. But Jed has consistently written Dr. Sturman as extremely competent, confident, and trustworthy, which I really appreciate. The other Marvel superhero that has a consistently great therapist is Silk. Oh, okay. Which is why I really enjoy reading about her also. I also really like the fact that I noticed a little Easter egg in a previous issue that was confirmed in this one. That, oh yeah, there you go. So Lena picked it up, that Jake was there in the bar when Frasier was talking with Detective Flint. And I love the fact that Jake and Steven were trying to be the voices of reason to talk Mark out of taking on all the vermins. Yeah. And his reasoning for giving in to the wild dog made sense. That he felt guilty about putting his friends in danger, which is a very common Moon Knight trait. So he was deciding that he needed to go it alone again. It will be interesting to see how that plays out. I have a feeling that his friends and his alters aren't going to give up on him that easily. But again, it makes sense that in a moment when he feels a lot of guilt and shame, he might backslide in his struggle with addiction to violence. This is something that happens a lot with both the DID systems and people struggling with addiction in general. That's a pretty good point, I think, as well, because Mark has both. I thought the new artist Devmalya Pramanik did a pretty good job too. Overall, I would give this a 9 out of 10 for story and art, and a 9.5 out of 10 for DID mental health representation.
That's good.
Thank you so much, Lena. That was, for issue 4. Would love to hear what you made of issue 5 as well, but thank you so much for that. That was really cool, and pretty much summarised a lot of our thoughts as well, Rebecca. Yeah. So we do have a couple of comments from what we did in issue, I think episode 360, which I think was our last episode, the What If issue. So Rebecca, do you have some stuff there?
I can only find one.
Okay.
Jonathan Sapp said.
Oh, okay, yep.
But I may be in the wrong thread. And he just said, I left a comment early in the week, but disappeared. I thought it was a bit of a silly and disappointing. There's a fair over beyond that star, says Cosmic Jake Surfer, but there you go.
Yeah.
And he also added that the Hulk one wasn't much better, except for the art. So.
Yeah, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. He's also posted another one here in the Facebook group, pretty much saying the same thing. This was a disappointment. Yes, it's a parallel reality, so maybe this one stayed in Moon Knight Volume 1 with billionaire playboy Grant and Marlene. Or what if the writer hadn't read anything since? Mooney Herald rotating personalities, which seems to have some unexplained effects on his powers, like Jake on the Silver Surfer's board in space, blasting the power cosmic beams away. Time to catch a fare uptown. Silly. Even Galactus just bails out at the end. His appetite gone. Yeah, so Jonathan. I mean, Rebecca and I, we both enjoyed it. I thought it was just
enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, but it was lightweight.
It was lightweight. It's just a bit of fun, and that's what I love.
I'm not going to defend it either. Like, I did enjoy it, but I'm not going to defend it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of What Ifs, right? You can just do silly stuff. So yeah. I've got to say, Rebecca, sorry, there is another one here from Lena again. This was for the What If issue.
I don't know why I'm in the wrong one.
Are you might be in the page. Are you in the page or the Facebook
group?
I
think I'm in the page. No, I'm in the Facebook group, I think.
Oh, okay.
But it's just, they don't always show in order for me, so.
Okay. Do you want me to? I can probably.
You just read it out,
Okay.
but you can either read
Okay.
it out or I can keep trying to find it.
Okay, I'll read it out then.
Okay.
So Lena says, I know I'm a bit late on this one. Don't worry, Lena. We are a bit late in getting to you. But I wanted to give my 2 cents on the issue that Rebecca and Ray were discussing regarding the DID representation in this issue. I remember, yeah, we did raise this.
Yeah.
Rebecca said that the fact that the alters each had a different cosmic power sort of reminded her of the Bendis run. I didn't really think of that comparison. After all, in the Bendis run, Moon Knight didn't really have the powers of Spider-Man, Captain America, and Wolverine. It was basically cosplay, but with real weapons instead of fake ones. What this reminded me of was more Legion, how his system has a different mutant power for each alter. For the record, I think Legion is probably the second most cringe-worthy Marvel DID character after Typhoid Mary. I talk about why a bit in my post on Substack. Yes, so shameless for things to avoid when writing about DID. But what saved it from being full-on Legion-y for me was the fact that Galactus split the powers between the alters because he saw their DID as a weakness, and they turned it into a strength by working together. They surprised Galactus by being better at functional multiplicity than he expected them to be. He even said something to the effect that he didn't expect them to gain mastery over their powers so quickly. So Segura was basically saying that DID doesn't have to be the weakness that the world thinks it is. So in that way, I think it's actually pretty positive representation, despite the fact that there were a few times that I wouldn't have phrased things the way he did, like shattered mind, etc. But overall, I thought it was pretty good, and Doug loves anything related to the cosmic side of Marvel. So he was getting to see Moon Knight interact with not just Galactus, but 4 of his former heralds. I would give this about a 7 out of 10 for story, and 8 out of 10 for DID representation. So again, thank you, Lena, and thank you so much.
Yeah, really, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really liking the separate scores as well. It's really good to get how is DID represented, because it's such an intrinsic thing to Moon Knight.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
no, thank you so much for that. Rebecca, I think that pretty much wraps us for this. Any other final things of note?
No, I mean, like, I think we're pulling together for an interesting sort of climax of this arc now. So
Yeah.
which is cool. And then I'm not gonna make any predictions about what happens to Moon Knight after that, because every time I always come out with these really downbeat ones, like, what if that's the end?
I was about to ask you something like
I have
that.
none this time. It's just a good arc. I'm
Yeah,
enjoying it.
yeah.
I'm not thinking about these things anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I'm very positive with this run. I mean, and Jed's been so, and we have to get him on, Rebecca. We've got to find a time to something, because I just want to talk to him again. Like, he's doing so much work, but he's managing to still create very entertaining, thought-provoking Moon Knight issues, and he's done this for 3 years, and he's still
crazy.
still
going strong.
Still going absolutely strong. So absolutely love Jed. I'm starting to really love Pramanik as well. So Looney listeners, let us know your thoughts, please. Just share them in the Facebook group or Discord. Or even on the YouTube comment section on the video. Rebecca, I think I did try to make this a live stream, but again, my technicalities failed me. So it will be.
We might get there. We're learning the new platform. Ray's learning the new platform.
Yes.
I'm not learning anything.
No, we'll get there.
I'm against learning, but for me.
But yeah, anything you want to maybe share or plug, Rebecca, before we go? You were on Sons of the Dragon. Was that a while ago? I can't remember.
It was a while ago now. Yeah. I haven't done any podcasting except with you for a while.
Okay. Well, just go check it out. I mean, drop a line on Discord. Rebecca and I pop in there. It's so much fun. But yeah, thank you, Loonies, once again for listening. Hopefully, we can get back. We always say this, back to some sort of regular schedule, but we'll just wing it. Why not just say that?
It won't be for a little while. I'm away for a couple of weeks now, so
March is going to be a different kettle of fish, but we'll try to get something out.
After that, we will try and
absolutely. But until then, of course, everybody, protect your travelers of the night, and God, I was forgotten the thing. May Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.